And this is why I do the show. I was talking about this 5-year anniversary, and we're going to go. This is mainstream media, folks. This is the front page of the USA Today a day or two ago. And this is what's going on. This is why the left wing needs to be heard and seen on shows like mine, because this just goes by and we're kind of conditioned to expect this to be normal. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. Look at these headlines that I've circled. Blinken announces a $1 billion in aid during a visit. Yeah, I don't know if you followed the news or not, folks, but Anthony Blinken is running around the country, everywhere from Australia to Iraq, selling weapons. This guy's the State Department head. He's supposed to be our chief diplomat. He hasn't done any diplomacy since his ass hit the seat in the State Department. He's a weapons salesman. He's providing military aid. That's what he does. There's one at the bottom. More state lawmakers are fighting to protect Confederate statues. My God, really? And then this one in the middle is so small, I don't know that I can even read it. But it has to do with the fact that, a huge percentage, 70, 80% of Americans believe nothing's going to get done about climate. Of course, that's a big thing on my show because they don't think we can suck it up, that anybody's willing to do anything about it. And of course, everybody's looking at the guy next door. Nobody's looking at themselves. Nobody's looking in the mirror. But that's just the front page of the USA Today, which is not wildly left. I mean, they're center to center right, probably. But I don't know. Does that ever strike you, Bill, when you look at the headlines?
Well, it's funny. I wrote an article probably about a dozen years ago now where I said that the State Department was a tiny branch of the Pentagon.
Yes.
Because back then, even under Hillary Clinton, it seemed like the main mission was going around the world and selling American weapons to various countries. I think the budget of the State Department is roughly, I think it's less than 10% of the Pentagon budget. So essentially, the State Department is really the poor relation to the military-industrial complex. And then, you mentioned global warming, of course, and, the Pentagon burns so much fossil fuels that if the Pentagon was a country, I think the Pentagon burns as much as the country of Sweden. So if we want to somehow limit global warming, one of the big ways of doing that is just downsizing the military footprint or our imperialism around the world.
Yeah, I had someone on my show recently, and people that watched it saw my jaw about hit the floor. I think they were kind of speaking in support of Biden, but they were saying, for the first time in a long time, we're not at war. We're at war in at least a half a dozen countries right now. I mean, I can run through the list.
Right.
And we have what they're, and this again, this is a great segue into the show we're talking about today. The United States admits being involved in counterterrorism activities in 85 countries, 85 countries. And of course, we have 800 military bases encircling the globe, for God's sake, including all of these countries that are threatening us, supposedly. We've got them surrounded, and a $1 trillion annually renewable military budget, Bill.
Right. Well, yeah, we don't use that word war anymore, as you know. But we sort of banished that. Back in the old days, we had a Department of War, and then after World War II, we decided to cloak the language, and so we came up with the Department of Defense. And we don't even declare war anymore. The last time we declared war was after Pearl Harbor in 1941. Now we talk about overseas contingency operations. We make fun of Putin and Russia. Russia.
Yes.
Putin came up with the special military operation. It's like, look at him, using Orwellian language. It's like, well, guess what? He learned it from us.